Oh, there I do
I'm good.
now.
I'm good.
Well, we're ready whenever you are. Are we rolling? Huh? Okay. Good evening, everyone, from Presbyterian Christian High School in Hattiesburg. It's time for area high school football action as the PCS Bobcats entertain the Sumrall Bobcats, and obviously what's going down as the Battle of the Bobcats. Both of these teams are coached by men named White. Their school colors are blue and white, so there's a lot riding on this game as PCS just comes through their tunnel to the right here at PCS, and a night that has cooled down comfortably now from another hot day in September. I'm Kelly Sander along with the round mound of sound, Brad Bounds. And Brad, really no secret in this game. If Summerall's going to win, the Bobcats got to figure out a way to score.
Yeah, last week they had a really hard time moving the football, Kelly, only accumulating 74 total yards of offense. And I'm sure Coach Shannon White has taken the time this week to try to implement some new things. Defensively, they were solid, as always. Had a good game defensively. But like you said, we've got to get some offense going if Summerall has a chance in this one.
Summerall lost last week at Seminary. Meanwhile, the PCS Bobcats have won their last 2 games in a row, coming from behind in both of those efforts. So it's a team that has garnered a little bit of confidence, knowing that they can come from behind. Sumrall versus PCS here tonight. Sumrall will return home next Friday night to battle the West Marion Trojans, who are turning out to be quite a football team this year. I can't say the Bobcats tonight because obviously it's going to mean either team, so we'll be talking a lot about Sumrall and PCS at the 8-yard line. And finding some running room to the near side of the field is one of the standouts for this PCS team, Landon Lofton. So it'll be 1st and 10 for PCS as PCS works from right to left here. Just underway tonight at PCS. So PCS will use different quarterbacks, including Colin Nikase, the sophomore, who wears jersey number 2, and he's got Rico Dorsey in the backfield. He is somebody that you're going to want to keep an eye on. Rico Dorsey, an exciting player that can make things happen both as a running back and as a wideout. Actually, Rico Dorsey is now set in that backfield. Referee blew the whistle just as PCS was ready to snap the ball. Line of scrimmage is at about the 38.5-yard line. 1st and 10. Again, PCS working right to left. Rico Dorsey in the Wildcat. Now goes into motion. They shift. Now Colin Nikase goes back into the quarterback position with an empty backfield. Nikase wants to throw. Can't find anybody open. He is under siege and dumps it out of bounds. Smart play. He was under pressure there from TJ Varnado. Also there in pursuit for the Bobcats. So 2nd down after the incompletion. Other games in District 7-4 tonight. Poplarville playing at DeIberville. Greene County is at Quitman. Stone and Hancock are playing at Perk tonight, and FCAHS is at West Marion. Nikase fakes the handoff, swing pass to the right. Caught some yardage ahead for about 6 or 7 yards to Mad Rad Patterson. Makes the catch up across the 45 to the 46-yard line. They've got to get to about the 50. So 3rd down and 4 upcoming here for the PCS Bobcats. Just underway here tonight in Hattiesburg. First series of the night for either team. Again, working quickly. Nikase throws, the pass is caught again to Patterson across the 50 into Sumrall territory at the 49-yard line. Varnado made the tackle there, and he got some help from James Ford, but that's a chain mover. And PCS on the move here as the
PCS throwing the ball in the first 3 plays, Kelly. They're not trying to attack the Sumrall defense on the ground. They're looking to do it through the air so far.
Now they try to see what they can get on the ground, and Marquise Crosby gets ahead for maybe a yard gain depending on where the forward progress is, but not a whole lot there. And of course, Brad, any team is going to have to, if they're going to try to run, they're going to have to run at Cole Daniels and Justice Hanbury, which is no easy task.
No, not at all, and that's why I wasn't surprised to see PCS come out throwing the football. Looks like there was a penalty flag on that play, Kelly.
Yeah, on the far side of the field, indeed, there is no indication yet as to who it is against. Because it was a pretty quick play, so it might have been even before the snap. But the teams are waiting to run a play, but the officials haven't yet even indicated as to who the penalty is against. No score with 10:51 left to go here in the first quarter. Southern Miss at Troy tomorrow. Ole Miss playing Southeastern Louisiana. And Mississippi State has Kansas State. It was an illegal shift, it looks.
They didn't mark at all.
No, they sure didn't. I guess they allowed Sumrall to take the down.
Well, yeah, I guess it's Sumrall's choice. You don't see that very often, but there was no yardage gained on first down, so Sumrall said, we'll just take the down instead of the 5 yards.
So 2nd down and 10 here. Nikes wants to throw. He's got time, lofts it down the sideline, but overthrows his intended receiver, Marquise Crosby. In pass coverage there was the quack attack, Carson Duck. And James Ford is also out there, and another penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage.
Nikes had Crosby coming out of the backfield on a wheel route. He just kind of threw an errant ball to him. That would have been a big gain for PCS.
This is a hold against the PCS Bobcats. And again here, Brad, as a coach, they're going to take this. This time Sumrall's going to take it. And they'll give PCS the down back. So it'll be 2nd down and 20 with 10:42 left to go here in the first quarter. This is the first possession for either team. I want to thank our sponsors, Sumrall Lawn Care. They sponsor the red zone attempts for both teams. Davis Smith, State Farm Insurance Agent, our trivia question coming up in the second quarter. Priority One Bank halftime show will be coming your way as well. Nikes at quarterback, wants to throw, does a little swing pass. It's caught to Patterson again, then fumbles the ball. And Sumrall has recovered it at the 42-yard line. It looks like TJ Varnado, who's been all over the place already. The Italian Stallion covers it up, and the Sumrall Bobcats will take over now. 1st and 10 at the PCS 42-yard line.
Well, he went to Patterson once too often. Patterson caught the ball out in the flat, and a good hit by the Sumrall defender, jarred it loose. Now Sumrall is in business on PCS side of the field.
Rad Patterson, whose favorite NFL team is the Washington Redskins. So I would guess, based on projections, he better hope that PCS has a pretty good year, because I'm not sure the Redskins will. 1st and 10 now. Dito is at quarterback for Sumrall after the injury to John Ford, who was, you really liked the way that John Ford had progressed, Brad Bounds, in the offseason, and he was shaping into a quarterback that impressed you very much.
Oh, we really did in the first 2 weeks, Kelly, and really looking forward to seeing him in the future.
Bad snap. Dito has to just pull it down and struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage. He was pushed out of bounds there by Russ Middleton, the middle linebacker for PCS. Got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain, 2nd down and 10. 10:28 left to go here in the first quarter, the first possession of the night for the Sumrall Bobcats. The battle of the Bobcats, public school versus private school here. Dito again at quarterback. He's got Barrett in the backfield with him. Hayden Barrett. Time for our Sumrall roll call. Make sure that you're texting in and let us know where you are. Christy Martin has already checked in. That's kind of her job, is to be the ringleader. Text in first. Fakes the handoff to Barrett. Dito runs it himself, but only gets a couple of yards and a penalty marker late. So a lot of flags early in this contest, and that's thrown in the interior part of the line, which is usually a hold on the offense, but we'll wait for the indication. Again, the Sumrall Bobcats will return home next week against West Marion. It is a hold against Sumrall. So Sumrall's Bobcats going backwards here. It's so amazing the similarities between these two schools. I mean, right down to school colors. Now, blue and white, both teams coached by Coach White. Shannon White for Sumrall, Derek White for PCS. It is Military Appreciation Night here at PCS. As you look out to the visiting side of the field, you see all the soccer fields at Tatum Park, that Tatum Park complex. 2nd down and forever for Sumrall. Dito, another bad snap. He does pick it up and now rolls to his left. He wants to try to find some yardage and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more. And Brad, something is awry there, because that's the 2nd or 3rd snap that Dito has had trouble with a little. That's all timing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it looks like they're good snaps, Kelly. So, and they may just be coming a little bit early. Dito may not be expecting the ball, but those shouldn't be too hard to handle. But he's having trouble here early with it.
Third down and about 23, it looks like, for the Sumrall Bobcats. Of course, a couple more weeks of pre-district games. Then the games that really matter are the district games. Those are the ones that determine who goes to the playoffs and who sits at home. Barrett again to the left of Dito on third down and forever. They fake it to Barrett. Dito runs it himself, and he gets tackled in the backfield. Great pursuit by PCS's Chris Buckhalter, the nose guard. He was there to pull him down for a loss on the play. It's fourth down and forever, and Sumrall will kick it away.
Well, Sumrall had a great opportunity there, Kelly, getting that turnover on the 42-yard line of PCS, and they end up on their own 42-yard line. So
Rad Patterson and Rico Dorsey back to receive the punt of Marshall Phillips. With 8:50 left to go here in the first quarter, each team's had the ball and has not been able to move it and have stepped on their own feet in the process. Back to Phillips. It's a good snap. No pressure by Sumrall, and not a good punt at all. Shanked this off the side of his foot. Won't even get across the 50-yard line. So PCS is in great shape here. Actually, Brad, was that a 4-yard punt officially?
Exactly, Kelly, a 4-yard punt. So Sumrall not only not taking advantage of the field position they were given, but now give field position right back to PCS.
Well, we expected at some point to see Gabe Cocroft in that backfield as a quarterback, but not in that series. So first and 10 for PCS. Again, Colin Nikase, who is the, I think, third of 3 Nikase boys to come through the system here. And he is the quarterback, sophomore. Takes the snap, now pitches it to the right side. He gives that to Crosby, and Crosby tries to string out the Sumrall defense, but the Bobcats read that very well. No gain on the play, maybe a loss. Gavin Friend was in on the tackle, so was Cruz Digger Freeman. Got back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Second down and 10 for PCS.
The PCS came into the ballgame averaging 326 yards on the ground. I know we're still early, but right now Sumrall is just stuffing them every time they try to run it.
Varnado, they've got Varnado, the linebacker, out covering one of the receivers here to the near side. Trying to pass it across the middle. It is caught by Dorsey, and Dorsey gets wrapped up near first down yardage. Tackled on the play there by Justice Hanberry, who dropped back from his defensive tackle position to make the play, but that's enough for a PCS first down, I believe. They are moving the chains. Blake Wilberding, the tight end for PCS, a first-year football player whose specialty is baseball. He transferred from Forest County AHS a couple of years ago, where his dad, Cliff Wilberding, was quite a baseball standout. First and 10 for PCS at the Sumrall 33-yard line. Nikase wants to throw again. He is being pressured, flushed out of the pocket, rolls to his right, back across the field, incomplete. He was looking for Dorsey. Cocroft was on the coverage for Sumrall, incomplete. Normally, Brad, when you're rolling to your right and having to throw back to your left causes that ball to float a little bit. That's kind of dangerous, isn't it? Throwing into the middle of his zone coverage there?
Yeah, very ill-advised throw there. And I don't know if Nikase may have just been trying to throw it away, but still you don't want to throw back across your body like he did on that play.
Second down and 10. The incompletion stops the clock with 7:20 left to go here in the first. Swing pass left. This is Patterson with the football. He is immediately hammered by Varnado. No gain on the play. And again, Ford is there. The lone torchbearer now for the Ford family. James Ford out there making the tackle along with Varnado. Varnado has already about 5 tackles on the night for Sumrall. No gain, third down and 10. Both teams struggling mightily offensively here early in this contest, although PCS has garnered a couple of first downs. Out of the shotgun, Colin Nikase, and again, he's got Crosby in the backfield. PCS working right to left, or toward the Tatum Park complex. Nikase again rolls to his right, throws. This pass is intercepted by Cruz Freeman. Digger Freeman's got it at the 40, looking for some blockers ahead of him. Freeman down the sideline is pushed out of bounds in PCS territory at about the 41-yard line. Same type of deal, Brad, rolling to his right, floated it back to the left, and it just stayed up there long enough for Cruz Freeman to cut in front of it and make the pick.
Yeah, he got away with it the first time, Kelly. That time, as you said, the ball just floated on him. A good job by Freeman and being in the right place at the right time. And a great job on that return, bringing the ball back across midfield. Sumrall again will start with good field position.
Heat timeout on the field with 6:28 left to go in the first quarter. Second turnover of the night for PCS. Sumrall will take over when we come back after this 30-second timeout. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat football. Kelly Sander with Brad Bounds back tonight at PCS, where the Sumrall Bobcats now take over after the second turnover. One was a fumble recovery on the Rad Patterson fumble. And the Cruz Freeman interception now has Sumrall in business at the 42, it looks like, of PCS. Kay Dito at quarterback with Barrett split to his right. Twin receivers to the near side of the field, including Cocroft. Swing pass to Cocroft. In the backfield now, Cocroft does some dances and gets down to about the 40-yard line before he was wrapped up on the play there by PCS's Landon Lofton, the junior cornerback. Gain of only a yard as they spot it. Second down and 9. Gabe the Rage Cocroft, who has had a terrific offseason. So second down. Second down and about 9. Dito puts Cocroft in motion. Everybody moving on the line, on both sides of the line. I don't know how you sort this one out, Brad Bounds.
Probably, generally when you have something like that, Kelly, it's going to go against the offense 9 out of 10 times. Cocroft was coming in motion, and the ball was actually snapped at his feet. So it's maybe a good thing for Sumrall that they did get this penalty.
Well, you called it, Brad Bounds. Both lines were moving, but Sumrall will be whistled for the infraction. Is it just me, or do the Bobcats look a little off kilter here? Sumrall's Bobcats, offensively.
What are you talking about? Yeah, they do, Kelly. It's a carryover from last week in seminary. They just don't look comfortable on the offensive side of the ball.
Second down and about 14 after the penalty now. Now Cocroft again in motion to the near side. Dito, a direct snap to Dito. He will run it himself. He's looking for some blocking, but I don't know that he even got back to the line of scrimmage before he was dropped. Making the tackle there for PCS was Cameron Shaw. The junior middle linebacker brings up a third down and 14 with 5:25 left to go here in the first quarter. No score between PCS and Sumrall tonight.
And Kelly, that was Dito's 5th rush of the night, and he's got negative 4 yards. So that little run out of the backfield not working for him. It looks like now we're going to see Cocroft at that quarterback position.
Our Sumrall roll call, we'd love to hear from you wherever you're watching or listening to the game from. You can text us at 601-310-7077, 601-310-7077. Keep that number on file. You can reach us in the broadcast booth by text only at that number. Third down now and 14. Cocroft is now the quarterback. Cocroft hands it off to Barrett. Barrett cuts across the middle, maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage, down to about the 42-yard line, but not near enough. The Sumrall Bobcats are 10 yards short after the pickup of 4. Brings up a 4th down and 10. Marshall Phillips will drop back into punt coverage now. And Rico Dorsey and Rad Patterson will be back to receive the kick. Marshall Phillips, whose older brother Payne was the punter for this Sumrall team last year, in to boot it away. Again, we'll be keeping track of other scores on the Town and Country Cleaner scoreboard for you as the night goes on. Marshall Phillips's kick is better this time. A wobbler that hits at about the 20-yard line takes a Sumrall Bobcat bounce and wiggles its way down to just inside the 10-yard line. Right there keeping an eye on it is James Ford, who has had a terrific game already. D and Junior are watching from Sumrall. They're in the 601 area code, of course, so glad to have D and Junior along. We'd like to hear from you as well at 601-310-7077. If you're listening on the Legend 105.9 or watching on the Sumrall YouTube stream, at Sumrall Athletics is where you can find all Sumrall social media. Facebook, Twitter, what else? Instagram, all those kinds of things. Sumrall Athletics is where you want to go. So Colin Nikase and the PCS Bobcats backed up to the own 9-yard line. Pitch sweep to the near side to Crosby. Crosby does get up to about the 15-yard line, where guess who? James Ford on the tackle. He and Varnado have been the studs tonight on defense so far for Sumrall. It is a pickup of 5 yards, brings up a second down and 5 with 3:33 left to go here in the first quarter. No score between Sumrall and PCS. Now Rico Dorsey back there in the Wildcat. Dorsey wearing those white gloves. He will run it himself. Left side, near the sideline, finds some room. Rico Dorsey gets pushed out up at about the 40-yard line. Biggest gain of the night. Or did he step out back there a little bit earlier, Brad? Back at the, I think one of the officials thinks he stepped out at about the 28, but the other one said he stepped out at about the 40. So we'll see here.
Actually, there's a flag on the play, Kelly. We couldn't see it because of PCS's bench. So
yeah, there I see it now, yeah.
After about a 10-yard gain, it looks like there's a flag.
Well, I was going to say what worked on that play, but it looks like there was an illegal hold or something which sprung him free. Both teams have really sputtered offensively so far, and this is a hold against PCS, so it's all coming back. Wow, Brad, both teams just can't get out of their own way.
No, they really can't. That was a good idea there by the PCS Bobcats, just putting Dorsey in kind of a wildcat or a wild bobcat, however you want to call it. And he got around the end. He lines up there again. Let's see what they do.
Cole Daniels and Justice Hanbury, the anchors of that defensive line. They try it again. Dorsey can't find anything to the right side, to the left side, so he'll try the right side. Cuts it back to the middle, but the Sumrall Bobcats are there to swallow him up at about the 12-yard line, it would appear. So a loss on the play of a couple of yards. And incredibly enough, I don't see a flag. But is there a flag? The way that the white hat is looking at one of the other officials, Brad, it looks like there might be another infraction here.
There is. I see it over there now. It looks like that's going to negate that last run by Dorsey.
Man, about at least half of tonight's plays, am I exaggerating when I say about half of tonight's plays there's been a penalty marker down?
No, you're exactly right. He's getting...
We've not yet gotten the indication as to, but PCS is marching backwards. This is a block in the back on PCS.
It was done in the backfield, Kelly, so it's going to end up being about a 12-yard penalty.
Wow. And moving PCS down inside its own 5-yard line to the 4. They've got to get out to the 20. So it's second down and 16. Nikase is in his own end zone and hands it off right straight ahead, but pretty congested traffic there, and like a rugby scrum, everybody all around the ball carrier, Marquise Crosby. Maybe got a couple. So third down coming up. Third down and long as the clock works its way down to 2:38 left to go in the first quarter. Sumrall versus PCS, the Battle of the Bobcats here, one of the spotlight games in the Hattiesburg area. Trip receivers to the near side of the field for Nikase. They put it up in the air here, Brad, on 3rd and 13.
I don't know, way back in their own territory, but yeah, they're going to.
Nikase does throw it, looks for his receiver, and it is caught up at the 25-yard line. What a grab by Dorsey. Rico Dorsey had man-to-man coverage over there and was falling out of bounds, but made the catch as he did.
Yeah, a good job there by Nikase, putting it only to where Dorsey can catch it. And Dorsey laid out for it and was able to pull it in for a big gain in the first down.
At the 25-yard line. Clock moving with 2:03 left to go. Pitch sweep, left side. And Varnado makes the play again on Crosby, but then is able to get away. And Crosby winds up working his way up for about a 7-yard gain. Varnado then got some help from Ford. Cocroft was also in on the stop for Sumrall. It's a gain of 9. So second down and short. PCS finding some success on the ground here. Max McGee, the wide receiver, goes to the far side of the field. Wilberding is also over there for PCS on second down and short. Nikase has backs split to each side. And Nikes will give it to Patterson. Patterson up the gut. Looks like he got just enough for first down yardage, but not much more. The quack attack, Carson Duck was in on the stop along with Cole Daniels, who we haven't called his name tonight. They say that's fourth down. That looks like a first down to me, and it is. They move the chains now with 1:08 left to go here in the first quarter. Producer, engineer, director Jeremy Thompson, Kelly Sander, along with the round mound of sound, Brad Bounds, and we are out here in the elements tonight. We are up here in the top row of the bleachers at PCS. It's Dorsey cutting back to the middle on the pitch, and Dorsey gets across the 45 up to the 47-yard line. That's a gain of 12 on the play. So all of a sudden, Brad Bounds, what is PCS finding that it didn't find earlier on the ground?
Well, just running a few things a little bit different, Kelly. They're a little different formations, and it's kind of confusing the Sumrall defense right now. Play calling is really not that different. They're just lining up differently.
And it looks like PCS has worked more the middle part of the field, too, rather than try to extend the Sumrall defense. Nikes now takes the snap, rolls to his right. He's in trouble. Nikes fumbles the ball. That ball might be live, or do they call that an incomplete pass? A penalty marker comes down late, but he just kind of shoveled that ball forward. It didn't look like an overhead pass at all.
Well, and they're picking the flag up. I would say if that is a pass, it has to be intentional grounding.
The Sumrall Bobcats were quick to pounce on top of it, because you're always taught to treat a ball like it's live, and it is intentional grounding. That's why they pay you the big dollars, Brad Bounds. You have been right on 2 or 3 calls tonight. So intentional grounding, they lose the down, do they not?
Yes, they should. It should be second down.
It is second down and about 15 now. PCS has it at its own 42-yard line with 38 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. In the Wildcat formation, Dorsey has it, has some blockers out in front of him, now tries to get to the near sideline, and he steps out just in Sumrall territory at the 48-yard line. Cockcroft was the man that knocked him out of bounds. They've got to get to the 42-yard line, so it'll be third down and about 6 with 28 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Both Sumrall and PCS trying to feel each other out here on offense. PCS winning the time of possession battle, which Sumrall last week against Seminary, boy, the Seminary Bulldogs really gobbled up the clock in the second half. Hit after no gain on the play is Marquise Crosby. He was stood up there. Ford was in the area, so was Marshall Phillips. So it'll bring up a 4th down and 5. And the punting unit will be dispatched here for PCS. But I'm not sure they'll get the play off before the end of the quarter. Garrett Lunsford back to kick it away, but we are in PCS tonight, and at the end of the first quarter, no score between Sumrall and PCS. Back after this 1 minute timeout. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat football. Back at PCS tonight, Kelly Sander along with the round mound of sound, Brad Bounds, who is on his game tonight. It is 4th down and 5 as the teams switch sides. PCS to kick it away to Gabe Cockcroft. PCS Lunsford standing at about the 39-yard line. Cockcroft back at his 15. Referee waiting to whistle the football into play, and does so. Little pressure from Sumrall, and Lunsford hammers one. Cocroft touches the ball, and it goes into the end zone.
Well, fortunately for Sumrall, it went in the end zone and out the side of the end zone. I don't know why he tried to field that football.
Because it looked like it was coming down at about the 2-yard line, Brad.
Yeah, but there again, typically you want to plant your feet on about the 10, and if it goes over your head, you leave it alone. You don't want it, because you don't want anything terrible to happen like just almost happened there, but Sumrall dodged the bullet.
So the yard line is the 10-yard line generally. If it's over your head, let it go.
Yeah, just let it go. I mean, if they down it inside the 10, well, it's a great punt. But if you go out there just like Cocroft tried to do and try to field it and you mishandle it, well, you're essentially giving them, first and goal.
Or get smoked at the 2-yard line.
Right.
In deep position. So 1st and 10 for Sumrall. It comes out to the 20-yard line. We'll check the Town and Country Cleaner scoreboard in just a moment. Scores starting to trickle in here to our command center at PCS. 1st and 10. Dito puts Cruz Freeman in motion. They pitch it to Barrett. Barrett coming to the near sideline, finds some running room. Barrett across the 30, cuts it back inside across the 35, and is wrestled down at the 40-yard line. By far the biggest play of the night from scrimmage for the Sumrall Bobcats. Sam Quinn, the junior cornerback, made the tackle for PCS, but that is a Sumrall first down. Updating the Town and Country Cleaner scoreboard, Lumberton leads Stringer 7-0. It is Hattiesburg over Oak Grove 7-0. That game is at D.I. Patrick Stadium. Other scores include Northeast Jones 7, South Jones 3, and Laurel leads Petal 7-0. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Town and Country Cleaners on Hardy Street in Hattiesburg. 1st and 10 for Sumrall at its own 41-yard line in this scoreless game. Barrett with the football. He gets hit in the backfield and is engulfed back at the 32-yard line. Leading the onslaught for PCS was Cameron Shaw, the junior middle linebacker, a loss of 5 on the play, and a late penalty marker down in the backfield.
Yeah, I was looking down. Kelly, I didn't see what happened, but
I don't know if this might be unsportsmanlike against PCS. Some taunting after Shaw got into the backfield. No indication yet. But the way that Shaw is being talked to on the sideline, it would appear that there's a problem here. And that's exactly the call. I got me one right, Brad.
There you go.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against PCS.
If you're a PCS fan, that's very unfortunate because that was a heck of a defensive play. But then it's just nullified with that reaction, and now it's going to bring up, you get the down over, and plus with the yardage of where it happened and everything. I'm sorry, you don't get the down over. It's going to bring up 2nd and 1.
So Shaw again being admonished on the sidelines, and the Sumrall Bobcats have a 2nd down and 1. We will get to our Sumrall roll call in a moment. A lot of you have been texting in, and we want to make sure that we give you the shout outs as we promised we would. 11:22 left to go here in the 2nd quarter from PCS tonight. And there is no score. Our Davis Smith trivia question coming up. The officials, I don't know what they're talking about here, Brad.
I don't either.
But to reset the table, Sumrall has the football at its own 48-yard line. And really, most of this game on both teams has been played toward the middle part of the field. Neither team has reached the Sumrall Lawn Care red zone tonight.
No, like you said, they're playing it in between the 20s here. And then neither team been able to get penetration any deeper than that thus far.
Cocroft did take one snap at quarterback, but Dito has done most of the heavy lifting tonight for Sumrall on 2nd down and 1. Dito takes the snap, pitch sweep right side to Barrett. Same play that they ran to this side, to the other side, but again, Barrett can't get to the outside before pressure from PCS coming from that side. And making the tackle on the play is Jake Sumrall, the outstanding linebacker for PCS, who's playing with a sprained wrist tonight. So a loss on the play of 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 5 with 10:45 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. Again, we're scoreless between PCS and Sumrall. Now, Dito didn't find much success throwing the football last week. Brad, I'm not sure he's attempted a play here tonight, or a pass here tonight.
He's thrown one. He completed it for 1 yard. Now Cocroft is that running back with a heavy package in front of him.
And they give it to Cole Daniels up front. Daniels rambling across 50 down to the 48-yard line. That's enough for a Sumrall Bobcat first down. And Brad called it. You give it to Cole Daniels and just have him bulldoze his way across the line, and that's exactly what happened, and that'll move the chain. Sumrall's in business at the PCS 48-yard line.
Yeah, you better pack your lunch if you're going to try to stop that young man running the football.
He is a big one for sure. So 1st and 10 for Sumrall. Mason Hudson is watching tonight from Sumrall. He's in the 601 area code, obviously. Glad to have him with us. And we'll get to more of your shout outs here in a moment. 1st and 10. Dito wants to throw, does. Incomplete down at the 41-yard line. The intended receiver there for Sumrall was Brandon Harrison. Brings up a 2nd down and 10 now. The incompletion stops the clock with 10:02 left to go here before halftime in the Priority One Bank halftime show. And we'll be talking a little about area high school football. Some of the teams that we'll be watching. Normally we have a guest of honor, so to speak, but we'll just be getting you up to date on how the season has progressed so far. Look at District 7 4A. Cocroft in motion. They give it to him to the near side. Cuts it back up the middle. Cocroft with some room across the 40 and then just dumped at the 37-yard line. That's enough for another Sumrall 1st down.
Yeah, good play there. Cocroft just coming across the formation. They hand it to him. He's able to take it forward for a gain of 11. And as you said, Kelly, a Sumrall 1st down.
Kobe Blackwell made that play happen for Sumrall.
You know, you and David Sutton missed a great opportunity. Y'all could have just interviewed each other.
That's right, Captain D. David Sutton, the radio voice of PCS. But so far, no scoring to talk about tonight. Either way, 1st and 10 for Sumrall at the 39 of PCS. The handoff goes to Barrett up the middle and then darts a little bit out to the right. Maybe picked up 2 on the play. Hanbury leading the way out there for him, you know, playing both sides of the ball. 2nd down and 8 for Sumrall now.
Sumrall finding success on the ground now, Kelly. They're mixing it up, going inside, outside, and using a variety of different players as they typically do. They run 4 or 5 guys and keeping fresh legs running the football.
Coach Anita Sumrall is watching the game from Boston, Mass. Go SHS. Glad to have Miss Anita with us from the 601. They are yelling for Tate Davis and his grandparents Billy and Tandra McAlpin, and Aunt Paula watching from Sumrall. Go Taterbug from the 601. 2nd down and 8. Man in motion again is Cocroft. They hand it to Cocroft on the sweep, looking for some blockers. Is able only to navigate a couple of yards before Gray Phillips brought him down. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and about 6 for Sumrall with 8:22 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. Gary Dean is watching from West Street in Sumrall. So we're even getting so specific as we know exactly where they're watching. Right, from West Street in Sumrall. Gary Dean in the 601. And Coach Cooley and his wife Sharon are passing through Birmingham, watching and listening to the game tonight. On 3rd down, Dito rolls to his right. Throws, he's got a receiver, and that's Cocroft. That 1st down yardage. Down at about the 26-yard line, something like that. Dino, nice little floater out there, threw it to the only part of the field that would not cause any problems there, and it was right to Cocroft, good for a 1st down.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, even going back to seminary and into tonight, that's the best ball that Dito has thrown, so maybe he's getting a little confidence. He's only a sophomore and been thrown into this position, but it takes a little while to build up that confidence. Maybe we're seeing that here starting to develop a little bit.
Well, the fans in Zwolle, Louisiana have checked in. J-Mo and Mama Duck.
Tamales.
Yes, that's right. She said it'll be up there soon to give them to you, Brad. Whistles blow now before this play can even be snapped, and we've got a false start here on Sumrall. So the Bobcats of Sumrall, who have been moving the ball so well in this series, now march backwards again with another penalty here. 7:55 left to go in the 2nd quarter. We are still scoreless between the PCS Bobcats and the Sumrall Bobcats. Public versus private battle here tonight. Other games from around the area, D'Iberville is leading Poplarville 14-7. Purvis leading Perry Central 8-0. You sure like to see the Tornadoes get them one this year. Stone 7, Hancock 3. That game is being played at Perk. And again, Hattiesburg leading Oak Grove 7-0. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Town and Country Cleaners on Hardy Street in Hattiesburg. Barrett with the handoff. A penalty marker comes down. He got hit behind the line of scrimmage and dropped, but I think they got a face mask, Brad.
Yeah, that's what it looked like from here, Kelly.
So a face mask penalty here, it would appear, although no indication has been given. But by the hand position of the defender and the fact that the flag went down immediately after contact was made there would lead you to believe that the face cage was grabbed on Barrett. But he was stopped way in the backfield. So it would be a long way from a first down. It is a personal foul, face mask against PCS.
And that carries an automatic first down, Kelly.
So they spot the football at the 23. And
they should be moving the chain.
And the referee, the white hat, is pointing.
I'm sorry, Kelly, it's not an automatic first down. I thought it was, but the yardage that gets it down over makes it only about 1st and 4.
And now the line judge to the near side blows the whistle, not quite ready yet to get underway in a first half that has zoomed past here.
Well, they fooled me on that one because I could have swore that was automatic first down with a personal foul face mask.
First down, pass out into the left flat is caught. Nice spin move. And down to about the 15-yard line is Brandon Harrison with his first reception of the night. He was wrapped up on the play by Sam Quinn, the cornerback of PCS. That should be a first down for Sumrall.
And it would be, Kelly, but you're going to get a hold on Sumrall here out in the flat, and that play's going to be coming back.
Another penalty marker. Both teams have absolutely tripped over their own feet here in the first half, which has resulted in a scoreless first half so far. But this, the longest sustained drive for the Sumrall Bobcats for sure. PCS has turned it over twice, once on an interception by Cruz Freeman, and once on a fumble recovery by TJ Varnado. So it is holding against Sumrall. So just when you think that the Sumrall Bobcats are moving, a penalty marker goes down, and the line of scrimmage now is at the 31-yard line. They were inside the Sumrall Lawn Care red zone. You know, even though it's fall and you think that your yard work is about over, don't forget the pros at Sumrall Lawn Care can take care of your yard all year round, whether it's trimming trees, bushes, hedges, what have you, fertilizing your yard for the upcoming season. Sumrall Lawn Care, proud to support Sumrall Bobcat Athletics. Dito on the keeper, runs it up the gut. He has stood up after a gain of maybe 2 or 3. Got back to the original line of scrimmage at about the 29-yard line, but no more. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10 with 7 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. No score between Sumrall and PCS. Crowcroft checks into the ball game for Sumrall. Nelson also in. Tyler Daniels has been quiet tonight. Tyler wearing jersey number 1, and again, it's kind of the walking wounded for some of those Bobcats on the far sideline. So second down and 10. Crowcroft this time in the Wildcat. They snap it directly to him, tries to run to the outside. He's not finding anything, and he is dropped for a loss on the play, and a big loss. Trying to string out the Sumrall, the PCS defense didn't work there, because tracking him and bringing him down was Cameron Shaw, who was whistled earlier in the game for that unsportsmanlike penalty. So 3rd down and 20 for Sumrall. The football way back at the 38-yard line. As we get near 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter, we still have no score.
Yes, really a bad decision there by Crowcroft. He'd have been better advised to just take that up the middle to get what he could. When he tried to string it to the outside, the PCS defense was on him, and he couldn't turn the corner.
So 3rd down and 20 now, which would normally be a big-time pass situation, but penalty flags are down again. A delay of game on the Sumrall Bobcats. So Sumrall's got it stuck in reverse here. Sumrall 2-1 coming into this game. PCS is 2-1. PCS has won its last 2 games, both by 1 point, and nearly won its opener. But they have fallen behind in every game they've played so far, but we're still scoreless here tonight at PCS. So 3rd down and another area code for Sumrall. Faking the handoff. Dito tries to run it up the middle, and he is stuffed. No gain on the play, maybe another loss. Lots of Bobcats there to PCS Bobcats there to make the play, including John Runnels, the junior defensive end. So Marshall Phillips comes in for PCS or for Sumrall rather, to kick it away at his own 42-yard line. Rad Patterson and Rico Dorsey back to receive for PCS.
Missed opportunity there for the Sumrall Bobcats. As you said, Kelly, they had it down inside the 20-yard line, end up all the way back on their own 45.
Marshall Phillips, it's a perfect snap to him, gets the kick away, tries to angle it. It will be Dorsey, though, that will track it at the 15, picks it up, now it runs to the near side of the field. Nice stiff arm, gets him out across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. And that's where they will start. On the coverage for Sumrall, Liam Munn, and also there for Sumrall was Garrison Musgrove on special teams play. So 4:43 left to go here in the second quarter. Our Davis Smith State Farm trivia question coming up, dealing with college football nicknames, Brad. You know how we kind of like those mascot questions.
Yeah, I like to think I'm pretty good at that, so we'll see.
Our Dandy Dan offensive and defensive players of the game will be named in the second half. Dandy Dan's, and then of course the Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic postgame show. Appreciate all of our sponsors for making our webcasts possible. Actually, deals are, I can give you a little tip before we ask the question. It has to do with Stanford. Anything about Stanford? Other than you got to be really smart to go there?
Either that or you got to, your parents. I'm sorry, that's UCLA or USC, isn't there? So your parents got to be very rich.
Yeah, well, and you major in creative finance. That's what you major in when you got one of them movie star parents, you know. 4:43 left to go here in the second quarter. Play about ready to resume now in the second quarter, rather. No score between PCS and Sumrall. The PCS Bobcats now have the football, and Colin Nikase, as he has been most of the night, is at quarterback. In motion to the near side is Max McGee. Fumble on the play. Nikase had to fall back on top of it at the 20-yard line. So once again, both teams not hitting on all pistons here tonight. Between penalties and poor snaps, both offenses have just really struggled to muster much of anything.
And PCS very fortunate, excuse me, if that wasn't a turnover, Nikase was able to get on the ball.
PCS has already coughed it up twice. Second down and about 17 after the bad snap. Nikase hands it off. They try some room up the middle, but not much room at the end there for Marquise Crosby, the ball carrier. Didn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe picked up 2. It'll bring up third down and 15 as we're just south of 4 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. A first half that hasn't even lasted 40 minutes. With neither team passing the ball much, and so you would expect that half to be short as far as clock time goes. Nikase, play action, wants to throw, now rolls to his right. Cole Daniels has got him by the collar and pushes him out of bounds. He was able to get rid of it at the last minute, but nobody in the area other than Cruz Freeman. He threw it into the turf. Incomplete, brings up a 4th down and 14 now. And you would think that PCS would kick it away, and here comes Lunsford and the PCS punting squad. Lunsford, one of the few seniors on this PCS team. Cocroft back to receive for Sumrall at about the 45-yard line.
If Lunsford gets in foot into it like he did that first one, Cocroft needs to keep going back.
If Cocroft has to go back to the 5-yard line here, it's a thunderous boot by Lunsford. Another great one at about the 35-yard line, then takes a PCS bounce and goes out at about the 24. So big boot by Lunsford. I've been impressed with his ability to kick the ball here tonight.
About a 55-yard punt by that young man.
So Sumrall will get the football at the 24-yard line. You know, you can always save money with your State Farm insurance agent, Davis Smith, when you bundle your homeowners and car insurance. Of course, life insurance is also the staple of any financial plan. Contact Davis Smith in Bellevue for more information. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, sponsor of our trivia question. They are now called the Stanford Cardinal, but at one time They were not the Stanford Cardinal. Before they were the Stanford Cardinal, and before the day of political correctness, they were called something else. What was Stanford University's nickname before they were the Cardinal? 1st and 10. Swing pass out. It's caught. It was actually deflected by one of the PCS players, but coming down with it is Brandon Harrison, the sophomore wide receiver for Sumrall, makes his 2nd or 3rd reception of the night. And it's a pickup of only about 3 on the play as the clock works its way down to about 3 minutes left to go in the 2nd quarter. You probably know that one, Brad, huh?
I don't have a clue.
You really don't?
I don't.
Okay, the Stanford Cardinal, as they're called now, before the day of political correctness, so that's a little bit of a clue, was called something else. What was Stanford called before they were the Cardinal? And it's really, I guess you'd consider it still pretty modern day. It's not like going back to the 40s or 50s or anything like that. Little pass out into the flat is incomplete. Liam Munn was the intended receiver. He had some running room on that far sideline, but just couldn't garner it. He was being watched very closely there defensively by Jake Sumrall, the linebacker for PCS. So the incompletion stops the clock with 2:39 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. And Sumrall has a 3rd down and 7. 3rd down and 7 from the 26-yard line. Sumrall working right to left. Cocroft in motion. They fake it to Cocroft, and Dito keeps it himself, but only gets a couple of yards. So it'll be 4th down and about 5 upcoming, as these teams have exchanged jabs and just nothing getting done offensively.
No, neither one of them can really get on track, although each team has had one drive apiece where they move the ball into the other one's territory, but other than that, it's really been a stalemate. Were they the Indians?
Yes. That's right. How did you just come up? You didn't Google it. I know you didn't.
No, I didn't Google it at all. It was.
You can't Google on a flip phone.
Right. I kept thinking about your clue.
Yes. That's correct. Yeah, the Stanford Cardinal were originally the Stanford Indians. But the powers that be in Palo Alto thought it might be a good political move to change that name, and we've got a timeout on the field now. And Sumrall has called timeout with 1:51 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. No score between the PCS Bobcats and the Sumrall Bobcats. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat football. Back in Hattiesburg tonight, home of the PCS Bobcats. Sumrall will return home next Friday. They will battle the West Marion Trojans, who are having quite a season. We'll check the Town and Country Cleaner scoreboard here in a moment. Marshall Phillips standing at his 15-yard line to kick it away. Dorsey is back there right at about midfield. Phillips has had one punt tonight that went off the side of his foot. The other ones have been good efforts. So back to the 15, little high snap, but he's able to pull it down. A low liner, good kick, away from Dorsey to the near side of the field. Dorsey will have to just sit there and watch it be killed at the 30-yard line. Good special teams coverage by Sumrall. There on the special teams play was Caleb Thornton to down it. So 1st and 10 for PCS at its own 31-yard line. Checking the Town and Country Cleaner scoreboard, DeIberville leads Poplarville 14-7. That's in the 2nd quarter. Picayune 14, Gulfport 14. It's Jeff Davis County leading Lawrence County. Of course, Lawrence County used to be in the district with Sumrall. Lumberton 7, Stringer nothing. That's a 1st quarter score. Laurel leading Petal 14-0 in the 2nd quarter. That game is in Petal. And Hattiesburg beating Oak Grove 21-7 in the 2nd quarter. That game is at D.I. Patrick Stadium in Hattiesburg. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Town and Country Cleaners on Hardy Street in Hattiesburg. High snap. Look out here. Ball is live now, covered up by Marquise Crosby, but he gets corralled back at the 15-yard line. Cruz Freeman was in there leading the Bobcat surge, the Sumrall Bobcat surge. They'll give him forward progress to the 20, but a big loss on the play of about 12 with 1:13 left to go here in the second quarter. If I didn't know better, Brad Bounds, I think we're going to go scoreless here in the first half.
I would think so. I don't think PCS will try anything too outrageous here.
Out of the Wildcat, it goes to Dorsey. Dorsey to the far side of the field. Again, trying to string out that Sumrall defense, but Cole Daniels was there to bring him down. And we've got I think there's a penalty marker on the play down on that far side. And of course, why should this play be different than just about every other one?
Well, the 12th penalty combined between these two teams in the first half.
But yet the half is still whisked by. And again, an abbreviated halftime here because PCS doesn't have a band. Okay, and I don't think the Sumrall band is here. I could be mistaken. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, they are. The Sumrall band is down here to the right. So they'll give an abbreviated performance, but not as long a halftime as usual. So our Priority One Bank halftime show will be a little bit abbreviated. It was a hold against PCS, but Sumrall declines it. So they'll take the down. 3rd down and 15. With 52 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, we have no score between PCS and Sumrall. The battle of the Bobcats, led by Coach Derek White of PCS, Shannon White of Sumrall. On 3rd down, again out of the Wildcat formation with 2 receivers to this side. It goes to Crosby. Crosby gets back to about the original line of scrimmage before he is dropped there. Again, several Bobcats in on the play, including the quack attack, Carson Duck. Ford was in there, and so was Marshall Phillips. So it brings up a 4th down and 8 with 21 seconds left to go. They don't have to snap the ball.
I don't think they will.
Game clock at 24, and the play clock rather at 24. The game clock down to 11. So looks like we're going to go into halftime. Now the Sumrall Bobcats will receive the ball to begin the second half. Sumrall will get the ball to begin the second half. But we've played 2 quarters here at PCS tonight, and we're no closer to knowing a winner than we were when we kicked off. After 2 quarters of play here at PCS, it's Sumrall nothing, PCS nothing. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, a 2-minute break, and we come back. We'll talk high school football, get you up to date on other scores, the college schedule, and other things going on the area high school football scene in our abbreviated halftime show brought to you by Priority One Bank. After this 2-minute timeout, this is the home of Sumrall Bobcat football. Back here at PCS tonight, Sumrall 0, PCS 0. almost exclusively a ground game for both teams, but neither team has found much success. Brad Bounds will be back in a moment to get you up to date on the round numbers. Probably shouldn't be a very lengthy conversation because of the lack of offense in the first half, but we'll go through how each team got to where they are at this point. And again, the Sumrall Bobcats in this battle of the Bobcats will get the football to begin the second half of play. Our halftime brought to you by our friends at Priority One Bank. Home improvement projects stacking up will let Priority One Bank help you tackle your to-do list without blowing your budget. A home equity line of credit uses the existing equity in your home as collateral backing and has unique repayment terms that work within the parameters of your budget. Just like all the products and services at Priority One Bank, a home equity line of credit comes standard with their superior level of customer service provided by a local lender who is empowered to make decisions and customize the entire process to meet your needs. Priority One Bank is a member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Well, when you look at District 7-4A, Poplarville going into the season was the team to beat, even though the Hornets lost several of their players from last year. And Coach Beach at Poplarville wasn't making any excuses about that and loaded up the schedule with teams like Mandeville and playing DeIberville tonight. A lot of 6A teams that Poplarville has been playing. They're led by Blaze Breerwood, the new quarterback down there at Poplarville. And again, until Poplarville gets knocked out of that top spot, you'd expect the Hornets to continue that reign. The Greene County Wildcats in District 7-4A. Greene County kind of like the Sumrall Bobcats in the sense that they've been struggling to put up points. They have been playing schools of higher stature as far as classification goes, including their rival from George County. But Greene County struggling to put points on the board, and that will be their challenge going forward. Lawrence County, of course, out of the district now, and the new kid on the block is Stone County. Stone went to seminary a couple of weeks ago, as Sumrall did last week, and Stone found similar results as the Sumrall Bobcats, as that great ground game and the stingy defense of seminary came up victorious against Stone. So Stone and Sumrall ought to be a pretty good matchup if you believe the numbers up to this point. Forest County AHS and Purvis are two of the teams that are projected based on their experience to be toward the bottom of the standings in District 7-4A. But remember, it's not how you begin the season, it's how you win or lose those district games that determine what seed you are. Sumrall was a number 4 seed last year, went on the road and almost beat South Pike in the first round of the playoffs. You just have to finish in the top 4 out of those 6 in order to make the playoffs. So based on preseason projections, most people in the area and sports writers thought that Poplarville was the team to beat, followed by Greene County, that Stone would finish 3rd, and that Sumrall would finish 4th. But we'll see how that goes as district play doesn't begin for another couple weeks. The Sumrall Bobcats take on West Marion next week at home, and then they go up to Newton County. And after that, then the Bobcats will get busy with district play, and district games will be scheduled the rest of the way. So that's a look at District 7-4A, and each and every week we keep you posted on how teams in District 7-4A are doing in their respective games. College football tomorrow, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Ole Miss taking on Southeastern Louisiana, the Lions out of the Southland Conference, and also Mississippi State playing Kansas State of the Big 12. Mississippi State only spotting the Wildcats 7 points at Starkville, and I think Southern Miss fans will agree that maybe Mississippi State's a little better than people gave them credit for being. And then Southern Miss, of course, playing what people see as a very pivotal game in its schedule over at Troy, taking on the Troy Trojans, who have had 2 weeks to prepare for Southern Miss. There's a lot of a Southern Miss flavor at Troy and vice versa. But if the Eagles are able to pull this one off, and by any reason, you wouldn't assume that Southern Miss would go to Alabama next week and win that game. So that makes it even more important tomorrow for them to win that Troy game and maybe come back to M.M. Roberts Stadium a week later with a 2-2 overall record instead of a 1-3 record. The tamales just arrived from Zawali. We always get it wrong, don't we? Zawali, and of course, what would a Louisiana person be without an LSU hat? Doesn't look like a brand new one either. But Zawali has checked in with the Zawali tamales.
Well, I'll tell you what, you wear that LSU hat and you wear it proud right now because LSU's playing some football. They look like one of the best teams in the country, and I believe they will give Alabama a run for their money this year.
Well, I think everybody in the country would be up for that, wouldn't they? You know. But thank you so much. We're going to enjoy those Zawali tamales. Sumrall nothing and PCS nothing here at halftime as the Sumrall band is performing. Of course, PCS does not have a band. But that big game tomorrow, Southern Miss against Troy, starts at 5 o'clock. There's a lot of viewing parties at different area restaurants and watering holes around Hattiesburg if you want to check out that game. And lots of things going on. The youth football leagues and the Mississippi Youth Football Association are now underway as well. So junior college action last night. Pearl River was beaten by Co-Lin. Boy, that Co-Lin bunch is pretty salty, particularly on defense. I think they'll contend for that South Division title along with Jones College, and Hines will be in the mix. And of course, again, we're at halftime here of the Priority One Bank halftime show. No score between PCS and Sumrall. We'll take a 2-minute break, and when we come back, the round mound of sound, Brad Bounds, who will also share in our mother load of tamales here later on tonight. But he will have the round numbers when we return after this 2-minute timeout. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat football. Back at PCS tonight as the Sumrall band continues to perform. Sumrall nothing, PCS nothing, in a game that was marred by more penalties, I think, than yardage. But we'll get to that in just a moment with the round numbers. But let's get you up to date on other scores from around the area. In Lamar County action, Hattiesburg is beating Oak Grove 21-14. That game's at D.I. Patrick Stadium now in the second quarter. Lumberton 14, Stringer nothing. So what else is new? The Lumberton Panthers rolling. Lumberton over Stringer 14-0. That's in the second quarter. And Perry Central has tied up Purvis. It's Purvis 8, Perry Central 8. That game is over in New Augusta. In District 7 4A, DeIberville 28, Poplarville 14. That's a second quarter score. It is Greene County. We mentioned that Greene County having trouble scoring points. They've only put up a touchdown tonight, but they've been able to have it hold up. Greene County 7, Quitman nothing. That's in the second quarter. It is West Marion 27, Forest County AHS nothing. That game's in the second quarter, and of course West Marion is who Sumrall will play next week when the Bobcats return to Lamar County. And a game being played at Mississippi Gulf Coast in Perk. Stone 15, Hancock 3. Other games from around the area, spotlight games, Taylorsville walloping Seminary. How good are the Tartars this year? get out of their way. 28-0 over Seminary in the second quarter. Seminary team that beat Sumrall last week. It's West Jones 17, Wayne County 10. That's the second quarter score. Laurel beating Petal 14-0. The Petal Panthers have a great team, and Laurel winning tonight 14-0. No report out of Salem and Sacred Heart. Northeast Jones 28, South Jones 9. I think a lot of people might consider that an upset. North Jones leading South Jones 28-9. So that gets you up to date on all the scores from around the area, and a look at District 7 4A. Our Priority One Bank halftime show continues now with a look at the round numbers, how PCS and Sumrall got to where they are. Again, the Bobcats of Sumrall will receive the football to begin the second half. But now here with the round numbers, the man himself, the round mound of sound, Brad Bounds.
Thank you, Kelly. As you, as you mentioned, we're scoreless here at halftime between PCS and Sumrall. Not a lot of offense for either team in the first half, but we'll give you what we have. Again, a stat yards a game, so Sumrall doing a good job limiting him to just 23 yards in the first half. And then Rico Dorsey, the really the stellar tailback here for PCS. Dorsey's carried the ball 3 times, but of those 3 carries, he was only able to get, and I wrote that down wrong, he was able to get 26 yards. So 26 yards on 3 carries for Rico Dorsey. And Rad Patterson has carried the ball once for a couple of yards. He's caught 4 passes for 16 yards. So total it up, 43 yards rushing for PCS in the first half, 56 passing, a total of 99 yards. They also were penalized 6 times for 72 yards, and they turned the ball over twice. And we'll take a look at the Sumrall Bobcats. Not a lot of stats to give you there, but we'll give you what we've got. Kay Dito is quarterback, and he's connected on 4 out of 6 passes for 18 yards. He's rushed the ball 8 times for a negative 6 yards. Gabe Cocroft has carried the ball 3 times, but only netted 4 yards. He has 2 receptions for 8 yards. Hayden Barrett has carried the ball 6 times. He has 13 yards on his carries. Cole Daniels carried it once and was able to get 6 yards in the first half. They had more penalty yards than they did offensive yards. They were penalized 5 times for 40 yards. The one positive thing Sumrall has going for them so far, they haven't turned the ball over. PCS has turned it over twice. Sumrall unable to capitalize on either one of those turnovers, but Sumrall doing a good job of hanging on to the football. So, Kelly, not a whole lot of offense to talk about here in the first half.
Brad, I do want to ask you, though, because you've run offenses over the years. I mean, the number of penalties, really, that both teams have suffered through so far in the first half. What effect does that have on an offense really trying to find some type of consistency and momentum going down the field?
Yeah, it has a huge effect because, you keep thinking, well, what do we got to do? What do we got to do? In Sumrall, it's even evident that they got down inside the 20-yard line, then a couple of penalties, boom, they're back outside the 40. And it's just like you said, they keep shooting themselves in the foot. And sometimes, and there again, I didn't say this because a lot of color guys will get on the officials. But, sometimes, I'm not saying the penalties aren't there, but 12 penalties in the first half of football, that's a lot. That's a lot of penalties. So the flags have been flying pretty easily. And I imagine that both coaches have had something to say to the officials down there on the field. So this game is hard fought enough. Both these defenses have dug their heels in. And it could be, if these penalties continue like they are, Kelly, the penalty could very well decide this football game.
So how would you anticipate changes for both teams being implemented here in the second half, trying to just get any type of pointage?
Well, I would work toward the middle of the field if I was both of these teams. Run the ball in between the tackles rather than getting out on the edge. I know everybody wants to get to the edge and utilize that speed, but when you try to get to the edge, that's where you're going to get your holds and your clips and those sort of things. I'm not going to say your holding won't come in the interior sometime, but not as much because you're out in space and the officials can see a lot more. So I try to play what they call old mash mouth football and just try to run it in between the tackles and see if you can't get any momentum there. And it's not necessarily pretty, but if you think about it, you got 4 yards, 3 yards, and 3 yards. Well, you got a first down. And if you can do that all the way down the field, then eventually you're going to get yourself into the end zone. So just take that little bit that you can get, run the clock, run the football, both of these teams, and whoever does that is going to come out victorious here tonight.
And both teams showed flashes of that during the first half, but then wound up with 2 or 3 holding penalties, false starts, everything that you could possibly, all the things that could go wrong, did go wrong for both of these offensive squads.
Yeah, what I would like to see more so for Sumrall than PCS. PCS seems to have a better passing attack than Sumrall does. Of course, we've noted the injuries that Sumrall's dealing with, and that's not a knock on K. Dito at all. He's, like I said, a young sophomore, has been thrown in there and doing the best that he can. So if it's Sumrall, to me, forget about the element of surprise. Just do what you do. Like I said, mash mouth football. Just run it up in there and get those 3 and 4 yards to carry and go on down the field with it, and forget about trying to roll out and hit a guy in the flat and all that. You're going to do that every now and then, okay? That's going to happen. But if you stay with, your bread and butter, then I think you can move the ball down the football field. And like I said, eventually you're going to end up in that end zone.
We're scoreless here at halftime between PCS and Sumrall. Sumrall's Bobcats will get the football to begin the second half, and we'll have the kickoff for you after this 2-minute timeout. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat football. Here at PCS, no score between the PCS Bobcats and the Sumrall Bobcats. Our halftime show brought to you by Priority One Bank. When you need a loan, you expect to work with a banker who understands your needs and will get things moving. Well, the loan officers at Priority One Bank are empowered with loan authority to make those decisions. What's more, they normally can make those decisions the same day. So why wait for days to learn the result of your loan application? At Priority One Bank, they won't keep you waiting. Call or drop by to visit one of the local decision makers. Priority One Bank, member FDIC, local housing, or equal rather, housing lender. The Bobcats of Sumrall back onto the field now, coming to their sideline. PCS has already loosened up, getting ready to kick the football away here in the second half. And our first half, as many penalties as there were, really zipped past. Didn't take but an hour, to maybe get it done. So here at about 17 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock, we'll see how this one progresses. But again, Sumrall headed back home next week after a 2-game road trip to take on the West Marion Trojans. Then they go back to Newton County, and then district play gets underway. And those are the games that will determine who goes to the playoffs and who doesn't. And we'll be keeping up to date on other scores as the second halves progress. We want to thank all of our sponsors, including Sumrall Lawn Care, Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic, where Dr. April Gilmore, who is a Sumrall graduate, proud to support Sumrall Bobcat football. Dandy Dan's Chevron in both Bellevue and Sumrall, where they're open at 6 o'clock in the morning with that complete selection of coffees. The coffee's always hot, the smiles are always warm, and the drinks are always ice cold at Dandy Dan's Bellevue in Sumrall and Bellevue, and they'll be naming the offensive and defensive players of the game. So PCS ready to kick it away. The PCS Bobcats will work from right to left or toward Tatum Park. Those of you that know the geography here in Hattiesburg, the Sumrall Bobcats will work toward downtown as they get the football to receive the second half. Barrett and Cocroft back to get it for Sumrall. Chris Robbins has checked in tonight. Glad to have Chris along. Thank you, buddy, for joining us. Also from the 601, Tate Davis fans have called in. So Tate Davis has got some folks pulling for him, and you can always join us on our text line at 601-310-7077. So ready to get the second half underway, and maybe it'll be more eventful, at least up over the head of Cocroft and into the end zone. So this will be a touchback. 1st and 10. So the Sumrall Bobcats trying to get into the end zone, and you know, at what point, Brad, does it kind of get a mental block, because they were shut out at Seminary last week? The Sumrall Bobcats haven't been in the end zone for 6 quarters now, and I know they'd like to end it right here.
Yeah, Kelly, you'd like to see them put a drive together here and chew up some clock and chew up some turf at the same time to put some points on the board.
Kim Niekase is watching tonight from the 601. Kim, the mother of Colin Niekase. So we've even got some PCS folks checking in, and we are glad to have them with us here on our radio broadcast on the Legend 105.9 and the YouTube channel. Handoff over left tackle goes nowhere. Cocroft in at quarterback for Sumrall. Barrett was the ball carrier, I think, or was that Musgrove in the backfield? No, it was Barrett. So no gain. 2nd down and 10, just underway here in the second half. And I think I was right, Miss Kim, when I said that Colin was the 3rd of 3 Niekase boys. So it is 2nd down now from the far hash mark. Again, Sumrall playing in front of its own bench. Boy, Brad, I like these jersey numbers a lot better than last week's. The seminaries were really tough to read, aren't they? But both of these teams easy to pick out. Cocroft gets the snap, fakes the handoff, and runs it himself. Zone read up the middle. Cocroft with a burst of speed out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. That's what Gabe Cocroft brings to the table on that zone read. Very Anthony Alford-like on that play at quarterback for Sumrall. It's a 1st down for the Sumrall Bobcats at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, I like where he took the ball up the middle between those tackles instead of trying to break it to the outside.
So 1st and 10 again with Cocroft at the controls now for the Sumrall offense. 1st and 10. Cocroft calls for the football. Now they look to the sideline. Shannon White has 2 or 3 different signal callers in there, and of course 2 of them are what are called dummy signals, where they don't mean anything. They're decoys. And one of the set of signals is live. And now a timeout is actually called by the Sumrall Bobcats. So Sumrall will head off the field. Kim Niekase says, indeed, Colin is the baby. So glad to have my facts straight anyway. That doesn't always happen. From the 601, Raymond McCraney is watching from Hattiesburg tonight. Raymond McCraney, a big Sumrall Bobcat fan, and we're always glad to have him along with us. Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinics is committed to the care and well-being of your child. 601-261-3500. That's 261-3500 to schedule an appointment. Or you can visit them at HattiesburgClinic.com, brought to you by Dr. April Gilmore with the Children's Clinic, a proud supporter of the Sumrall Bobcats. So 1st down and 10 for Sumrall now. Barrett split to the left of Gabe Cocroft. flying the plane at this point. Cocroft gives it to Barrett. He does stretch the defense a little bit, turns the corner, but another penalty marker down. Brad, do we have another hold?
Yeah, Kelly, and for whatever reason, it just seems like every time they try to stretch it outside, the officials are throwing their flags.
But you had mentioned one of the problems with trying to stretch the defenses is that linemen, just get a little bit too handsy there.
Yeah, absolutely. And
trying to extend the play a little bit.
A lot of times when you try to get to the outside, you're trying to make that big play, and it's going to happen from time to time. But in this game, I still say they're going to be better off just going up the middle.
Well, it is a hold against Sumrall, so the Bobcats back it up to the 20-yard line. Now they've got to get out to the 43. So 1st and 23. Marshall Phillips and Brandon Harrison, a couple of sophomores for Sumrall out there to the far side. Barrett still in the backfield. Duck wing left for Cocroft. Direct snap to Cocroft. He'll run it to the left side. Looking for any type of hole, but he is bottled up and dropped for very little gain. A host of PCS Bobcats are over there, including John Stevens. So 2nd down. Second down and 18 for the Sumrall Bobcats. Handoff, they try the near side and nothing there. Marshall Phillips with his first carry of the night. He gets dumped back at the 20-yard line. So a loss on the play brings up a 3rd down. The football at the 20, they've got to get to the 43. So 3rd and 23 coming up, clock moving with 9:23 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Still no score between PCS and Sumrall. The injury to John Ford at quarterback. Bobcats trying to find some legs offensively. 3rd down now. Cocroft puts Marshall Phillips in motion to the far side. Cocroft fakes the handoff, will run it himself up the middle on the zone read. And Cocroft is stacked up after he gets to about the 25-yard line. In there on the play is Jake Sumrall, also Rad Patterson there for the for the PCS Bobcats. So Sumrall will kick it away. Dorsey will be back in punt return formation for PCS. Rad Patterson will back him up back there. Rad, like the California term that means cool. Do you like my nomenclature? How I'm up to date on all the latest terms?
I do like
around, Rad. Rad Patterson. Phillips gets the kick away. It's end over end, fielded on the run at the 43-yard line by Dorsey. Dorsey is being hounded, is able to shake a couple of guys away. We've got a penalty marker down. Dorsey still on his feet across the 50-yard line down to about the Sumrall 48, but that's usually a block in the back or something on the return team, is it not?
Yeah, I believe it's exactly what it's going to be, Kelly.
Well, just a rash of penalties tonight, which the offense is neither is so high-powered in tonight's game that you can really afford to be going backwards. PCS has certainly shown propensity to put up numbers, particularly last week. I think they put up 43 points in the second half in a come-from-behind win. PCS, the 2 wins that PCS have come from behind, and both by 1 point. Sumrall won its first 2 games of the year, but was upended last week at Seminary. Kelly Sander along with Brad Bounds and our producer-engineer Jeremy Williamson out in the elements tonight. Jeremy Williamson, I said it again, Jeremy Thompson. That is against PCS. It is a face mask penalty officially for PCS. Where do I get Williamson? Why do I always say Williamson for Jeremy Thompson? Anyway, face mask is the call for PCS, so they've got it all the way back at their own 19-yard line. Do the PCS Bobcats. Nikkei surveys the Sumrall defense. And the give and go to Crosby. Crosby up near the sideline, pushed out of bounds by Marshall Phillips, and now a late hit is going to be whistled on Carson Duck. At about the 43-yard line, he was about a step out of bounds, and Duck, making sure that he was out of bounds, will be ruled that he hit him late.
Yeah, that's really not what you want to see if you're a Sumrall Bobcat. Give PCS getting a big run there and then getting 15 yards on top of it.
So this will put the football up near midfield. It actually puts PCS in Sumrall's end of the field at the 48-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the PCS Bobcats. Nice run there by Crosby. And at the time, it was to the fat side of the field, but now they're in tight here on this near sideline. This time, the handoff goes to Dorsey, Rico Dorsey. Almost the same kind of play, you know, waiting for some blocking to develop out in front of him. Making the tackle for Sumrall with John Sawyer Williamson. Gain of 4 on the play, brings up a 2nd down and 6 with 7:28 left to go here in the second half, the third quarter. Third quarter, no score. 7:23 left to go here in the third. The Case has backs split. Wing left. Look out. And here, half of the line moved, half of the line didn't, and we've got whistles again. This will be a false start on PCS.
Well, negate the yardage that Dorsey picked up on 1st down. It'll make it 2nd and 10.
It's just been uncanny tonight, Brad, how the defenses, when they've shown flashes of brilliance, then kick it into reverse with the penalties. So 2nd and 10, football back at the 48-yard line. Handoff. Crosby tried the right side. There was nothing there, so we went back to the middle of the field where he got stacked up there. Gavin Friend on the tackle for Sumrall. Maybe a yard. Brings up 3rd down and 10. Almost this entire game has been played between the 30-yard lines. Only one time has somebody been inside the Sumrall lawn care red zone. And obviously no points emerged. 3rd and 10. Nikes with a low snap has to pick it up off the ground. He's in trouble and just dumps it into the ground. He had a receiver in the area. I think they will rule that Max McGee was close enough that he could have been ruled an intended receiver. But again, under siege, he had to just get rid of it. So 4th down and 10.
Yeah, that could have gone either way, Kelly, because he definitely was not trying to complete that pass. But as you said, they ruled there was a receiver close enough and gave him the benefit of the doubt.
So 4th down. Gabe Cocroft will be back to try to bring this one on a short kick, but the job that the PCS kicking team, led by Garrett Lunsford, he's been terrific tonight. And here is, they'll kick it away from Cocroft. Takes a bounce inside the 5, and the PCS special teams can't get it before it bounces into the end zone. You know, PCS throughout the years, Brad, have had some great kickers, including Luke Logan, who kicks at Ole Miss. He was here. So on the possession, we've got a heat timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout with them. With 6:26 left to go in the third. No score between PCS and Sumrall. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat football. So the Sumrall Bobcats will take over 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Working left to right. Cole Daniels will come in there and help out. on that right end of the offensive line. We'll get to the Town and Country Cleaners scoreboard here in just a moment. 1st and 10 for Sumrall. Barrett on the carry, right up the middle. Barrett up the middle across the 30, still on his feet. That's across the 35 to the 37-yard line, and that's what Barrett brings to the table. Continues to churn those legs. That's a gain of 13 yards and a Sumrall first down. Nice job by Barrett, and as Brad Bounds called it earlier, running between the tackles, north and south.
It seems to be where they're having, like I said, the most sustained success. When they try to get outside is when they start shooting themselves in the foot.
So it is a first down. Cocroft again at quarterback now. There's some thought that he might go last week a little bit against Seminary, but did not. He's been unveiled tonight. Hand off to Barrett. They'll try the other side this time, trying to string it out, and Barrett is hit in the backfield and dropped. Outstanding linebacking play by Cameron Shaw for PCS. Drops him for a loss on the play. Brings up a 2nd down and 14 with 5:43 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Other scores from around the area. Lumberton leading Stringer 14-0. South Jones has made a game against Northeast. It's 28-23 Northeast. Purvis leading Perry Central now 14-8. Purvis 14, Perry Central 8. That's in the 3rd quarter. Laurel continues to lead Petal 14-0. Hattiesburg leading Oak Grove 28-21. Hattiesburg over Oak Grove 28-21. That's in the 3rd. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Town and Country Cleaners on Hardy Street in Hattiesburg. Barrett again in the backfield and thrown for a loss. Boy, the PCS front has done a great job. This time it was Chris Buckhalter that wrapped him up. A loss on the play brings up a 3rd down and about 20 coming up.
And you just can't afford that if you're the Sumrall Bobcats, because they haven't shown that they have a passing game. You got to keep it 3rd and short, 3rd and 5 or less.
So here we go with Barrett split to the right of Cocroft. Haven't seen Cocroft put the ball in the air, so you know what Gabe can do through the air. He'll keep it himself, runs it up the middle, and gets some yardage, maybe 3 or 4 yards, but certainly not near what they needed for a first down. So the punting unit for Sumrall will come in. The battle of the 18s here. Marshall Phillips will kick it away to Rico Dorsey. Sumrall and PCS. These two teams will play next year, but they'll play in Lamar County. We look over here to our left. The lights are on at Tatum Park soccer field, so that tells you what part of Hattiesburg we're in here, right off of Bonhomie Road. Snap right to Marshall. Kicks it at about the 21-yard line. Dorsey pulls it down to 32. That ball is on the ground. That ball is loose, and the Bobcats have recovered. The Sumrall Bobcats have recovered at the 30-yard line. A break for Sumrall. Musgrove on the recovery for Sumrall, and so the Sumrall Bobcats in business at the PCS 30.
Yeah.
3rd turnover of the night for PCS.
Yeah, Dorsey just never could find a handle on the football. And a big break for Sumrall, and see if they can't take advantage of it here. Only 30 yards away from pay dirt.
Some type of points. With 3:42 left to go in the 3rd quarter, we are still scoreless. So the offense thought it was going to get a rest, but has checked back in to go to work. Kobe Blackwell is in there, the fullback position. Cocroft on the direct snap, trying to find some running room, and he goes nowhere and gets pushed backward, and guess by who? Cameron Shaw. Wouldn't be tough to name a defensive player of the game for Sumrall, for PCS rather, tonight. Cameron Shaw has been the real playmaker for PCS. Of course, Sumrall's had its own playmakers tonight on defense. TJ Varnado has had an excellent game. Ford has had a good game.
And one of those playmakers on defense has now come in on offense. Cole Daniels has checked in to the backfield. He's carried the ball once tonight and got 6 yards. That's
easy to pick out Cole, not only from the size-wise, but he's got those bright orange kicks down here on the right end. 2nd down and about 17. Cocroft wants to pass, does, but the pass is low and incomplete. It was a forward pass and incomplete, so that'll stop the clock with 2:49 left to go here in the third quarter. So the Sumrall Bobcats try to go to the air to try to generate some type of yardage. Third and about 17 now. And Bryson Smith is their kicker, but I mean, this is way too far away. This would be a 54-yard attempt. PCS players imploring the fans to get on their feet. Handoff to Cole Daniels. Daniels busts 2 or 3 tackles and gets inside the 20. That's a Sumrall first down.
Well, I thought he made a mistake when he sprang it to the outside. But he's just so big and tough to bring down. He was able to barrel his way forward.
Cole Daniels has a lot of assets, but lateral quickness isn't necessarily one of them compared to a Barrett or a Gabe Cockcroft, something like that. But pure power and strength. Got that first down, and now the Sumrall Bobcats are inside the Sumrall Lawn Care red zone. Don't forget Sumrall Lawn Care, and that your lawn needs attention all year round, not just the summertime. And the experts at Sumrall Lawn Care know exactly what to do. Sumrall Lawn Care proud to support Sumrall Bobcat football. 1st and 10, Cockcroft on the handoff to Barrett. He stood up. No gain on the play. He's wrapped up and brought down there by Chris Buckhalter, who has come to life here in the second half for PCS. Maybe even lost a yard. Back to about the 20-yard line, brings up a 2nd down and 11 with 1:23 left to go here in the third quarter. Sumrall and PCS. How will the points be put on the board? Somebody's got to win. We'll see what the Sumrall Bobcats, their deepest penetration of the night right here. On 2nd down. They have found success between the tackles, as Brad Bounds thought they might here in the third quarter. And they go between the tackles here, and Barrett gets up ahead for a gain of 3 or 4 or 5 yards. And still on his feet, gets down to near the 10-yard line, which would be near first down yardage again. You don't suppose the Sumrall coaches were listening to you, Brad, do you? Probably not.
Probably not, but it just seems to be the soft spot in this PCS defense, and I know that wouldn't seem like it with Buckhalter right in the middle there, but Sumrall has found success, and I think that's going to take us to the fourth quarter, Kelly.
It is. Waning seconds of the third quarter, we've completed 3 here at PCS, and it is the PCS Bobcats nothing, the Sumrall Bobcats nothing, but Sumrall will have a 3rd and 4 when we return after this 1-minute timeout, 1 minute down the line. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat football. Military Appreciation Night here at PCS. And man, the forces here for Sumrall trying to get into the end zone. It is a 3rd down and a long 3 for Sumrall. They've got the football at the PCS 12-yard line. So a big play here with the heavy package in. Barrett, the tailback. He's got some beef up ahead of him now that's shifted to the right. Under center is Cockcroft. And they give it to Barrett, and he is hit and dropped. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, but I'm not sure he got that, Brad. I'm not sure he got back to the line of scrimmage.
No, I think they were able to stop him or push him back for a loss of 1 on the play, Kelly.
So Bryson Smith would normally be in here to kick a field goal. This with the line of scrimmage being at the, 15-yard line. And here he comes.
Looks like they've actually spotted it inside the 15 at the 14, Kelly, so that should be about a 31-yard attempt.
Uncle Ernie has checked in saying feed Tweeter, and they did there, but he was stood up. So Bryson Smith out of the hold of Marshall Phillips. It'll be put down at the 22-yard line from the right hash mark. This is a 32-yard attempt for the Sumrall Bobcats. Snap is back, the placement's down, the kick is up, it's got distance. This kick is no good.
He just hooked it left just a little bit, Kelly. Unfortunate for Sumrall. Now the defense going to have to come back out and keep PCS off the board.
11 minutes, 10 seconds left to go in regulation. They would play overtime at 0-0, wouldn't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure that in all of my 40 years, and not that this has happened yet, but I'm just saying I'm not sure I've ever seen that happen.
I know I haven't since I've been broadcasting.
1st and 10 for PCS. Colin Kneecase, as mentioned, the baby Kneecase boy leading the way here for PCS. He hands it off. And Dorsey to the outside. Dorsey is able to sidestep a couple of Bobcats. Tyler Daniels, whose name we have not called at all tonight. Tyler Daniels pushed him out of bounds, but not until it was a gain of about 19 yards. So big gain on the ground for PCS. And PCS now with some rejuvenation. They had flatlined offensively a little while ago, and now a pulse has been picked up. This time, they give it to Crosby. Almost the same play to the near side, but Crosby was pushed out there by Tate Davis, the old tater bug, with a tackle there, pushing them out of bounds. Of course, these family nicknames are nice, but when you go up to these big dudes and call them, tater bug, they don't really like it that much, Brad. The 2nd down. After the gain of 5. Handoff again, almost the same play. This time it's Dorsey. Dorsey pushing ahead across the 50-yard line and gets taken out of bounds there by Cruz Freeman and the quack attack Carson Duck, but not until PCS garners another 1st down. Clock moving with 10:36 left to go in the ball game. And PCS now with a short field. Hoo-hoo Tate from the 601. And we know it's an official Sumrall game now that Uncle Ernie has checked in. You can too at 601-310-7077. 1st and 10. They give it to Crosby. Crosby trying to string out the Sumrall defense, and there just hasn't been anything there for either team tonight when they try to go laterally. Any yardage that either team has gained has been north or south, or in this case, the way the PCS field is laid out, it would be from east to west or west to east. No gain, 2nd down and 10 with 10:08 left to go in regulation. Still scoreless between PCS and Sumrall. Kneecase will go out of the shotgun. On the give and go, it's Dorsey. Dorsey to the near side. Daniels hits him initially, and then Freeman finishes him off. So Tyler Daniels, who had been quiet the entire night now in a couple of plays, has made plays. Freeman helped him out. Brings up a 3rd down and about 7 now. 3rd and 7. The Sumrall defense needing to rise up here as we're nearing the 9-minute mark left to go in regulation. 4 down linemen for Sumrall. Kneecase wants to throw this time. Does. He's got a pass that's overthrown and intercepted by Marshall Phillips. Marshall Phillips at the 40 and then knocked out at the 45-yard line. So Kneecase is picked off. He was looking for Wilberding downfield, but overthrew him slightly, and Marshall Phillips was sitting there in the zone waiting on it, Brad, and he picked it off.
Yeah, Kneecase, who came into the game with only 1 interception on the year, has thrown his 2nd of the night. But a good job by that Sumrall defense. And it's one of those things that, like I said, you think you're going to catch them off guard, but that defense stayed disciplined. They stayed in their zone coverage, and the pass was thrown a little high. And a good job by Sumrall to be there and take advantage of it.
But is that the 4th turnover tonight now for PCS?
It is.
The 4th turnover, and Sumrall has not been able to capitalize. 9 minutes, 16 seconds left to go in regulation. We are scoreless between PCS and Sumrall, the battle of the Bobcats. Kelly Sander, Brad Bounds, Jeremy Thompson, and Gabe Cocroft at quarterback. He hands it to Barrett, and he fumbles the ball, and PCS looks like it has recovered. Jake Sumrall, the middle linebacker, was there. Just like that.
Kelly, again, Barrett trying to stretch it back out to the outside. You know, you can't fault the young man. He was trying to spin and make a move to get yardage, and the ball just popped loose.
Coming up at the end of the game, we'll be naming our Dandy Dan, Chevron, in Sumrall and Bellevue offensive and defensive players of the game. And now Sumrall wants to talk it over. So, boy, it'll be interesting to see how this Sumrall defense responds now, Brad.
Yeah, they had done their job, Kelly, gotten off the field and gave the offense the ball back. And on the first play, the offense coughs it up. And this is the strength of this Sumrall team, though, Kelly, the defense. We knew that even before the year started. Of course, we've talked about John Ford a lot, and of course he has missed tremendously on the offensive side of the ball. But the defense was always going to be the strength of this team. And defense has done their job tonight. They did a great job last week in Seminary until Seminary just finally wore them down.
Well, and I was just going to say, there's only so many miles you can put on tires before they blow.
Right.
Right? And this Sumrall defense has had a lot of miles racked up on those tires the last couple of weeks. In fact, the second half last week against Seminary, the Sumrall offense, I think, only had 8 snaps the entire second half. So this defense has been beleaguered. It's been steady. It's been strong. But again, they've been on the field a lot the last couple of weeks.
Let's see if they can step up one more time, Kelly, and give the offense another opportunity.
1st and 10 for PCS with 9:09 left to go in regulation. The PCS fans now into this game as they know that time is of the essence. This time, Wildcat formation. It is Dorsey. Dorsey looking for some blockers to the outside, and he gets wrapped up by TJ Varnado and dropped. Tate Davis also in there. Tate Davis having a great senior year. Loss of 5 on the play, brings up 2nd down and 15. Getting down to the bewitching hour now with 8 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in regulation. Sumrall had a field goal attempt go awry, but that's been the only scoring attempt, really. 2nd down, direct snap, halfback pass, but actually keeping it himself and being escorted out of bounds finally by the Sumrall defense. Nice play by the Bobcats. They wanted to throw that ball, you could tell, but Crosby decided to run it, and we've got an injury timeout on the field, and we'll take a timeout with them. 30-second break. No score between Sumrall and PCS. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat football. Injury timeout on the field. Let's check the Town and Country Cleaners scoreboard for you. Games from around the area tonight. In Lamar County play, Hattiesburg continues to lead Oak Grove 28-21. That is in the 3rd quarter. District 7 4A play, it's DeIverville 28, Poplarville 14. The injured PCS Bobcat that is now luckily up and working his way to the sideline is Andrew Stayer. Nice kid, Andrew Stayer. Got to meet him the other night. Let's see, elsewhere, Northeast Jones 28, South Jones 23. Laurel leading Pendle 14-0. That's in the 3rd quarter. Purvis continuing to lead Perry Central 14-8. Greene County over Quitman 19-6. Stone 15, Hancock 3. That's in the third quarter. And again, how good is Taylorsville? 34-0 over Seminary in the third. West Marion 27, Forest County AHS 0. That's in the third quarter. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Town and Country Cleaners on Hardy Street in Hattiesburg. Third down and about 7 now for PCS. Direct snap, and finding some running room is Rico Dorsey. Rico Dorsey carrying Sumrall Bobcats with him all the way down to the 21-yard line. TJ Varnado, Tyler Daniels, and Marshall Phillips were there on the stop, but not until got big first down yardage and has PCS in business at the Sumrall 21-yard line.
Dorsey took a fake step to the left. When he did, Sumrall's defense reacted, and he came back to the right, and he's just too quick for Sumrall to catch up with him.
This time, it is Crosby in that Wildcat. Crosby calls for the football. They'll run the same play. Crosby cuts it back up in the middle, though, and he runs right into the teeth of that defense. Cole Daniels is there. Cole Daniels actually took the football away from him. Justice Hanberry was in on the play. Also there for the Rawcats was Tate Davis. So clock moving with 7:50 left to go in regulation. Still no score. It was a gain of about a yard, second down and 9. So PCS now inside the Sumrall Lawn Care red zone, which few teams have been there tonight. When Sumrall got inside the red zone, they had a field goal go wide left. Clock moving with 7:24 left to go. This time it's Dorsey. They try the same play, this time to the left side. Cuts it back up. Dorsey to the inside, gets wrapped up by Marshall Phillips. Not till he gets almost first down yardage, and he might have gotten first down yardage. Tyler Daniels also in there to make the stop. A quack attack in the area.
PCS putting in a heavy package of their own. Dorsey just got in behind Buckhalter there and followed him around that left edge.
Third down and about a yard to go. For PCS, this is the deepest penetration that PCS has had tonight at about the 13-yard line. Third down and a yard. A low snap. Got away with it there, but trying to cut it back up into the middle and being flung to the ground is Marquise Crosby. Digger Freeman was there on the tackle, but I think he got enough of the first down. He did, just inside the 10-yard line. So first and goal for PCS with 6:30 left to go in the game. 0-0. It's like my grade point average. Me and Mr. Blutarski from the movie Animal House. Wasn't that his grade point average?
I believe so.
It's going back a few years.
It is.
6 minutes, 14 seconds left to go. It's Dorsey in the Wildcat. They snap it to Dorsey. Tries to run right up the gut. Is able to get a couple of yards before Tate Davis is there to sling him down. I'm not sure that he got a whole lot of anything there.
Actually, he may have lost half a yard.
So the Sumrall defense, which has had a lot of field time the last couple of weeks, being called upon again here to keep the opponent out of the end zone or between the uprights, whatever it takes. Second down and goal. This time it's Crosby. They try the left side. Crosby is tripped up at the 15-yard line. Great play by TJ Varnado.
There's a flag on the play as well, Kelly.
So the Sumrall defense comes up big. Now, Brad, if it's against PCS, you decline it, right?
It depends on what their kicking game's like.
Well, yeah, that's a fair point.
You know, and that's something that
no indication yet as to what the penalty is.
They declined it.
Block in the back against PCS. It is declined by Sumrall. So third down and goal. The line of scrimmage is the 15-yard line.
You know,
or thereabout.
PCS has got 8 penalties enforced against them, but Sumrall's declined 3 or 4.
So on 3rd and 15, You can bend and not break here. But in the backfield, it is Dorsey in the Wildcat. They're trying to get Dorsey to the near side. Dorsey inside the 10, the 5, and is pushed out, depends on the spot, about the 3.5-yard line. So decision time for Derek White, the head football coach at PCS. It's 4th and goal from about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, really not much of a decision if you have any confidence at all in your kicking game, because this is nothing more than an extra point, maybe a yard further than an extra point.
And here comes Garrett Lunsford, who is the senior place kicker, the 5'7", 148-pounder. It'll be out of the hold of Brad Patterson. Near hash mark, ball will be placed at the 10-yard line, a 20-yard attempt. Placement is down, the kick is up, the kick is good. Lunsford has given a lead to PCS of 3-0. We'll be back with a kickoff after this timeout, this 1-minute timeout. This is the home of Sumrall Bobcat football. Four minutes, 58 seconds left to go in the ball game. PCS now leading Sumrall 3-0. 3-0. That 20-yard field goal put them ahead. Glad that you're listening on the Legend 105.9 FM in Hattiesburg, or on the YouTube stream at Sumrall Athletic. You can find all Sumrall's social media at that same hashtag, or whatever you want to call it, at Sumrall Athletics. But glad to have radio coverage this year on the Legend 105.9. Lunsford to kick it away. 5-step drop, kind of a short punch that rolls into the end zone. So Sumrall will set up shop first and 10 from their own 20-yard line. The Bobcats know how it's important to get off to a quick start, and so too your friends at Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue. Whether it's their complete line of fresh, always hot coffees to Miss Betty's sausage and egg biscuits, Dandy Dan's in Bellevue has your quick start covered. For lunch, how about the daily special plate lunches? Well, at Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue, the smiles are always warm, the drinks always ice cold. Proud supporters of the Sumrall Bobcats and all the local schools. Dandy Dan's in Bellevue on Highway 589. 1st and 10 for the Rawcats. It is Cocroft in the backfield, throws it out to the flank, and it's caught by Daniels, but he is hit immediately and dropped by the cornerback, Sam Quinn. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd down. Clock moving with 4:35 left to go. PCS leading Sumrall 3-0. Bobcats looking to the sideline. It's good to see, though, Cocroft put the ball in the air, throw it a little bit. Gabe Cocroft, very much like Dennis Jackson last year, implemented in as quarterback in the injury to Ford. Tried to get it out to Tyler Daniels on the right side. That's incomplete. Landon Lofton was in pass coverage for PCS. The incompletion stops the clock with 4:11 left to go. And according to our records, I think Sumrall only has 1 timeout left. So if PCS were to get the ball back, I think, and of course, I've been wrong before. I voted for Ross Perot twice. But I think Sumrall only has 1 timeout left. Cocroft at quarterback on 3rd and 10. It's a direct snap to him. Tries to run to the far side of the field, gets 1 block, but no more. And is knocked out over there by the outstanding linebacker Cameron Shaw. So looks like he was knocked out actually just as he got to the line of scrimmage. That right foot stepped out of bounds. So it's 4th down and 10. And the PCS crowd on its feet. Marshall Phillips will come in to punt. He's at about the 8-yard line with 4 minutes and 3 seconds left to go. Brad Patterson is the lone man back here for PCS for the return. Patterson will let it go over his head. Takes a Sumrall bounce. Phillips kind of kicked it on the belly of the football, and it kind of rolled nicely inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Even though PCS has turned it over 4 times, the Sumrall Bobcats have not made them pay.
I think if the cost of the timeout situation, Kelly, and it does show that on the scoreboard, just 1 left for Sumrall. I believe if Sumrall is going to have a chance in this, they're going to have to get a 5th turnover to get an opportunity to score.
And it wouldn't be anything out of the really ordinary for Sumrall to play run defense here, because PCS has primarily been on the ground. And this is exactly what you want to do when you have a lead. Colin Nikes here looking on the near sideline in the jersey number 2, but this time they'll play Nikes out here as a wideout. When they go out of that Wildcat package, Rico Dorsey. PCS looking to go 3-1 and garner a public school win tonight. They snap it to Dorsey, fumble on the play, and he falls on top of it. So that's what Sumrall wanted to have happen. It just would have been better if Sumrall, the Bobcats, would have fallen on the ball. Dorsey waving to the sideline saying, let's just run the same play, but he's coming out. And Marquise Crosby is checking in. A loss on the play of about 7. That's really getting to be kind of moot at this point.
Well, if you can get a stop on this play, then you can use your timeout, Kelly.
3 minutes, 19 seconds left to go. Normally you get a good look at the clock, but because of our setup here at PCS tonight, we have to tell you what it is. And of course our radio audience can't see it. So it is Crosby. Crosby at the 20-yard line, and it looks like a face mask was grabbed. A couple of Sumrall Bobcats there, Tate Davis and Cruz Freeman. So he picked up about 4 yards on the play, which that's the good news. The bad news is I think Sumrall is going to get whistled for a face mask here, Brad.
Yeah, it looks like they will, Kelly, and if in fact that's it, that's going to give PCS a 1st down with that yardage.
So again, it was 2nd down and 17, but they picked up about 4 on the run, which would make it 13 yards, but a personal foul face mask is going to be a 15-yarder. It is a personal foul, 15-yard face mask against the Bobcats of Sumrall. So 1st down for PCS at its own 45. And what about each play, Brad? You could pretty much run, what, 35, 40 seconds off the clock?
Yeah, Sumrall may have a chance to get the ball back with less than a minute, but they're going to, if PCS gets another 1st down, that should do it.
1st and 10 for the home team. PCS Bobcats. It is Dorsey in the backfield. Again, Nikes to the near side, but Dorsey will just run this football. Looks for a hole up the middle, finds one, and then is dropped after about a 5-yard gain. Wrapped up on the play there by Sumrall's Gavin Friend, the junior defensive tackle. 2nd down and 6. Clock moving with 2:40 to go. And you have to wonder in these wildcat formations, Brad, how savvy the running backs are for PCS to look at that time clock, the play clock, compared to the game clock, and make sure that you use and exhaust as much of it as possible.
I'm sure the coaches are reminding them of that.
Because there's 8 seconds left on the play clock here. We'll see it when they snap it. They do with 5 left. This time, nowhere to go, and a nice wrap-up on Marquise Crosby. He's dumped again, Justice Hanbury, and T.J. Varnado again in there for Sumrall on the stop. Loss on the play of 3 brings up 3rd down and 9 as we're now inside of 2 minutes left to go. 25 seconds left on the play clock, so that would get it down to 1.5 minutes. And then it would be decision time for PCS. So it looks like Shannon White is going to keep that timeout in the back pocket, Brad Bounds, and use it when he hopes his offense will get the football.
Well, he'll use it after this play, I would imagine, Kelly, but we'll see.
3rd down and 9 for PCS. And now the PCS Bobcats have called timeout and want to talk this over. Our next game for the Sumrall Bobcats will be next Friday night when the Bobcats are at home against the West Marion Trojans. West Marion having a great year this year, led by Coach Brad Duncan, and West Marion taking care of business tonight against Forest County AHS, which is a District 7 4A rival. We'll have the game for you on the Legend 105.9 on radio and the live stream on the Sumrall Athletic YouTube channel. Sumrall versus West Marion next Friday night. Big play coming up here for the Rawcat defense. 3rd down and 9. Actually, Sumrall got a little bit of a favor there, Brad, by PCS calling the timeout, right?
Yeah, PCS ran it down as far as they could.
Hattiesburg leading Oak Grove 34-28 in the 3rd quarter. Petal has come awake, has tied Laurel 14-all. Lumberton leading Stringer in the 4th quarter 28-0. And Poplarville being hammered by D'Iberville 35-14. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Town and Country Cleaners on Hardy Street in Hattiesburg. Our last report, Purvis was leading Perry Central. 3rd down and 9. Wilberding now checks into the game. The big tight end, they've got 10 seconds left on the play clock to get this away, but the game clock is stopped because of that timeout. 3rd down. Dorsey on the handoff. He gets forward for about 4, but that's it. And you were right, Brad Bounds. Sumrall will use its last timeout. Marshall Phillips and Justice Hanbury on the tackle there. So 4th down and about 7, 6.5. And PCS will kick it away. And Sumrall will have about 1.10 minutes with no timeouts with which to work, at least to get it down the field and put it in field goal range so that Bryson Smith could at least muster a tie. If not a Sumrall Bobcat touchdown. Sumrall was beaten last week at Seminary, couldn't get it into the end zone, and would like to end that streak right here on a comfortable night here in South Hattiesburg. Cocroft has plenty of playmaking ability, and he will be back for Sumrall to retrieve it at the 10-yard line. And really, a guy that's been as instrumental as anybody, Brad Bounds, in this game has been Garrett Lunsford.
Absolutely.
He has his thunderous right foot has had a really good game, and of course he kicked the 20-yard field goal, the only points of the game. Here comes pressure from Sumrall. Lunsford gets it away. Not his best effort by any means. And it actually takes a Sumrall bounce up to the 25-yard line. And there to down it for Sumrall, or for PCS rather, is Jake Riley Gunn. So here comes Sumrall. Trailing 3-0. They've got 1:12 minutes with which to work. And again, no timeouts. PCS has 2, but why would PCS want to stop the clock? So here we go. Gabe Cocroft, who came into the game at quarterback in the 3rd quarter. or maybe midway through the second, we saw him a couple of times. So he is in now in that quarterback position. Twin receivers to each side. Cocroft's got it, throws it out to Tyler Daniels. Tyler Daniels is hit nearly immediately for a gain of maybe 2 yards.
Sumrall's going to have to take some chances down the field, Kelly.
It is a gain of 1, inside of a minute left to go now. 50 seconds left in the game. PCS leads Sumrall 3-0. Cocroft rolls to his right, wants to throw, but he is hit and dropped back at the 10-yard line. The linebacking core for PCS has been terrific. That's Buckhalter making the play there. The line of scrimmage is the 10, and there's only 23 seconds left to go, and Sumrall can't stop it. Inside of 20 seconds left now. 3rd down and forever for Sumrall. Cocroft runs it straight up the middle. Cocroft gets away from a couple of guys. Cocroft has one man to beat, and he's tackled by Rad Patterson at the 40-yard line. 6 seconds left to go. He runs out of bounds to stop the clock. So Sumrall has 1 play left. Great play. Actually, we've got an injured PCS Bobcat down on the far sideline. So, man, it looked like for a minute, Brad, that Cocroft had some daylight. Patterson knocked him out of bounds, but that's the only guy that was between him and the end zone.
Yeah, if he could have shaken Patterson, he would have taken it all the way on what would have been the final, play of the game.
And that actually was Rad Patterson that was down, but he's up and jogging to the sideline under his own power. So here we go. This literally is the ball game. It's a 1st down, but what does that matter at this point? 6 seconds left. Sumrall trailing PCS 3-0. Barring a penalty, this will probably be the last play of the game.
Tyler Daniels is taking his first snap of the night.
Tyler Daniels at quarterback. And now PCS calls officially a timeout. The last one was an injury timeout. We want to thank all of our sponsors, Sumrall Lawn Care, Davis Smith, State Farm Insurance Agent, for his support of our second quarter trivia question tonight, which was the Stanford Cardinal used to be the Stanford Indians before they were the Cardinals. Priority One Bank that sponsors our halftime show, thanks to Priority One Bank. Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic, Dr. April Gilmore, a graduate of Sumrall. Their family still very active in Sumrall. And of course, Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue and Sumrall. So here we go. The PCS Bobcats are back ready to work. What does Sumrall have here? What's the 63-yard play in the book? And really, you've got to score a touchdown because you don't have time to get a field goal unit in.
Right, and unless it's a defensive penalty, this will be the last play of the game.
Tyler Daniels, as Brad mentioned, is taking his first snap at quarterback. Daniels wants to throw, lobs it downfield, looking for a receiver. That ball is tipped. It's incomplete. And that's the ball game. Well, he gave it a good shot down the field.
He really did. A good throw down the field. He put it up there about 40 yards down the field. But it looked to be Crosby, who was in on defense, was able to go up and tap it away, and PCS is going to hang on for the victory.
A 20-yard field goal, the difference in this game. And the final score, PCS 3, Sumrall nothing. PCS wins the Battle of the Bobcats. Defensive player of the game is Varnado for Sumrall. He started the game hot, Brad, and really finished the game hot. TJ Varnado was everywhere he needed to be defensively. Tate Davis played well. Also, playing well. We mentioned Tate Davis, but also playing well was James Ford. Tyler Daniels came in and played well in the second half defensively, but TJ Varnado gets the defensive.
We're back.
Okay. So TJ Varnado, the defensive player of the game. Our next game will be next Friday night when Sumrall is back at home after a 2-game road trip to take on the West Marion Trojans. Next week, as usual, on the Legend 105.9 and the Sumrall YouTube channel. Brad, your final thoughts?
Well, Sumrall again just finds itself behind the 8 ball. Kelly, they've got to figure out a way to get some type of offense going. They just haven't found anything since John Ford has been out. But next week, I believe, starts district play. And one more week, and then we start district play. So they still got a little time to figure something out. And as Coach Richard Broom walks in front of us, maybe they can go back to the drawing board and get something going before next week.
Final score again, PCS 3, Sumrall nothing with the loss. Sumrall drops to 2-2. PCS ups its record to 3-1. PCS now has 3 wins on the year by a grand total of 5 points. 3 wins by a total of 5 points, but doesn't matter. 3-1 is the ledger. 3-0, the final score, PCS over Sumrall. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Legend 105.9 FM radio and on the YouTube channel at Sumrall Athletic. You can follow all Bobcat action athletically on their social media sites at Sumrall Athletics. For producer engineer Jeremy Thompson and color analyst, the round mound of sound, Brad Bounds, I'm Kelly Sander. Thanks for joining us. PCS wins at 3-0. You've been watching and listening to the home of Sumrall Bobcat football.